Guys, you ever been accused of something so much that you start defending yourself out of habit more so than the evidence? I mean, even if the evidence is stacked against you like a house of pancakes platter, you still deny it, and that would be me. You see, I feel like I should know myself better than anybody else because I'm the man who's looking at, well, the man in the mirror. And when I was in the Marine Corps in boot camp, that's when I really started to learn a lot about myself. You see, they were stressing the hell out of us every day, and I was learning about myself and my fellow Marines. It was one night. It was lights out, and we were supposed to be asleep, but quietly a few of my buddies and I were laughing and joking, and all of a sudden, Private Wallace jumps up. "Yes, sir! Aye, aye, sir!" And he laces on his boots, and then he starts screaming at his rifle, and then he pops back into attention, and then falls back on his rack and goes to sleep. And we're all laughing quietly, and I'm like, damn, I didn't know Private Wallace was so crazy. And then one of my bunkmates leans down from the top rack, and he's like, "White, are you serious? You're like the worst one here." And they all started chiming in. It was like, dude, you run around here naked, checking people's rifles to make sure they're locked up at night. And sometimes you take your rifle apart when you're sleeping, clean it and put it back together. And well, let's not forget about those times when we all laugh about you singing the Marine Corps hymn like it's some lullaby in your sleep. And I'm thinking, no, these guys are all joking, man. We're always ribbing each other. And I lay there trying to go to sleep, and I think, how could I even have gotten out of the bed? We make them so tight, and it's hard to get in and out of them while I'm awake, and there's no way they're telling the truth. But then I think about Private Wallace, and I say, well, this guy, what happens at night that we don't know about, like Private Wallace? Well, fast forward, guys, a few years. I'm married, and I've got kids, and I'm the typical dad. I'm watching every penny, and I'm watching the budget, and one morning I wake up and I go down in the kitchen and it looks like a goddamn raccoon has been in there. I mean, there's peanut butter and crackers and cereal every damn where. And I'm like, get these kids downstairs. And I'm laying into them. I'm like, I can't believe what you've done. It looks like a goddamn crime scene with peanut butter smeared on the counters. And my wife walks in and she scrubs her eyes and she kisses me and says, "Good morning. What's all the fussing about?" And I'm like, these kids, they don't understand the value of a dollar. They've gotten into all this lunch food and all this. And she's like, "Honey, why does your breath smell like peanut butter?" And I'm like, "What? Peanut butter? What the? No, these kids." She says, "Wait a minute. Honey, you do this damn near like every night where you eat up half the kitchen and then you get up and lie about it like a politician under oath every morning." And I was like, I'm smelling the peanut butter on my breath and I'm thinking, but I don't even like peanut butter and crackers, and I hate Cocoa Puffs. But I don't know. I don't really argue because I want to keep this rant up going with these kids. But a few days later, guys, I wake up, and the kids are fussing about these damn juice boxes. And somebody stole my juice box, and I can't make my lunch, and I need a juice box. And I go downstairs there in a jacket. I'm trying to say something, but my throat is sore. And I'm a little concerned, and I go to the bathroom, I look in the mirror, and my tongue is all red, and that little thing that hangs down the back of your throat called a uvula, well, mine's swollen, and it's hanging on top of my tongue, and it's giving me this drowning sensation. But I'm a Marine, and I don't complain. I just keep on going, drinking ice water during the day, and by the evening, the time it goes back to normal, so I don't give it much thought. But a few weeks later, I'm talking to my mother, and I'm telling her about the peanut butter, and telling her about how my throat swole up. And she says, "Oh, honey, you've been sleepwalking since you were a baby." And I says, "Whoa, wait a minute, you got the wrong son. This is Marcus you're talking to." And she says, "Oh, no, when you were about 1, there was a crime scene going on around the neighborhood, and your father was all tensed up. He was locking windows and doors, and he kept the pistol loaded." And I was like, "Really?" And she says, "Yeah." She says, "One night, we heard something in the house. So your father's on the warpath, and he gets the gun out, and he goes in the hall, and he hears something in the kitchen. And he sees a light coming from under the refrigerator, and he moves the door back really slowly, and there you are, 1 year old, diapers sagging. You got a pickle in one hand, you got a jar and jelly in the other, and you're making some sort of toddler charcuterie board here. And we don't say anything. We just see you take a spoonful of mustard and taste it and pass out on the floor. And I'm thinking, what the fuck did you never say? She says, oh, and by the way, that juice you were drinking, what flavor was that? Because you're allergic to red dye. And I'm thinking, what the hell? They never told me this stuff. Well, see, now, guys, it's not so bad because my kids are all grown. I'm divorced, and I live on a sailboat with my bulldog, Rocky. And, well, she eats raw, so our foods don't get mixed up. But occasionally I wake up and I see all the prosciuttos gone, or there's like 6 cups of espresso made, or I've got popcorn all over my chest. And I always look over her like, did you? And she gives me that look back like, oh, you got to be fucking kidding me, man. But I know, guys, what I've been denying all this time. It's me. It's my life. It's who I am. And I get it. I sleepwalk, and I sleep eat. And I'm a midnight menace with a peanut butter craving. But guys, this is what it is, and this is the thing. We go through our lives denying parts of ourselves, whether it be a history, a habit, or maybe even a hurt. We call it something else, we laugh it off, or we avoid it altogether. But those things that we don't own, well, they end up owning us. And you see, it took a morning time meltdown, a swollen air passageway, and a story about a midnight snack with a toddler and a pistol before I realized those things that happen at night, well, those things that we deny and that we try to hide, it's who we are. And it's not until we own them do they stop controlling us. So now, well, I keep a spoon and a napkin beside the peanut butter because I might as well make it easy for myself if I'm going to do it. Guys, I appreciate you coming out, and Stephanie, as always.